Hello, bit of spicy sauce to get started.
No, it's vitamin.
Oh, I thought it was like a
Jesus.
small thing of spicy sauce, and I'm like, hell yeah.
I just need to. Oh, am I doing this right? Fuck. Okay. Okay, German drugs. Fuck. Oh.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Yeah, are you recording already?
Yeah, sorry. We don't have to
No
upload that
problem.
if you don't want me to.
No problem. When I become prime minister, you can use this against me.
Prime Minister in Australia or Prime Minister in Germany or Chancellor in Germany?
It's you're right, Chancellor, and I want to be prime minister of the whole fucking world. I'm one of those Germans. The world belongs to Germany.
Hell yeah, a German wanting to conquer the world. No one's ever heard of that before. Oh no, that was so bad he left the call.
No, my camera froze, and I don't want to look at me
Oh,
like
fair
this.
enough, fair enough. Is a chancellor in Germany, is it closer to a president or a prime minister? Do you know the difference?
Yeah. The highest position in Germany is the chancellor,
Okay.
and then we don't have a prime minister. We have a president, and the president is only for hi, I'm the president. Therefore, he
Gotcha.
has
Okay.
nothing to say. He has to sign some laws and stuff like that, and he's the guy who gives the documents for after the election. Hello, welcome. Now you're the chancellor, but it's more a representative position.
Gotcha. We've got the prime minister, but the actual leader of our country is technically King Charles, and we have another position called the Governor General, and they're a person that represents the king or the leader of the monarchy in England. And so there was a famous incident in the 70s when the Prime Minister Gough Whitlam got fired by the Governor General. And so our Prime Minister can be fired by someone who's not voted
In
on.
England.
Yeah. So someone who represents England, but an Australian
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
person.
Ah, okay, I
So,
see.
um, but for all logistical purposes, it's the prime minister who's in charge. It's who we vote for. It's who we really care
Yeah.
about. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we've done a podcast.
Exactly.
Jan's been sick. He's feeling better
Yeah.
now. Better now.
Kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's with this in Germany, and we can. This is basically something what you might, or no, because you were in wintertime in Berlin. It's but when you came back for summer, we don't are not with those air conditioning types of
No.
people over here. So that means like for me, when I always go on trips and in hotels, I always turn the aircon off.
Oh, you're used to it.
Yeah, because as soon as when I sleep and the aircon is on, I get sick. I
Okay.
don't know why. And flying to this we went to Fuerteventura, and we were flying in the airport. In the airplane was cold, and I had a jacket on, like a really like like a hoodie, and then we had to wait in the coldest bus ever. And I think this was too much for me because after this second night, I had like my throat was hurting, and since then I had always like the flu, like stuff coughing and all the green stuff comes out.
Oh, fun. Delicious.
Yeah, especially when you have fucking in the summer, in the summer, in the sun, we had 2 days over 50 Celsius.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah,
Melbourne's
yeah,
never had that weather in my lifetime. I think the highest it's ever gotten was 47 during.
yeah. It was, and the sun was so intense, it's crazy, and then my lovely other Germans, they sit at noon in the sun smoking cigarettes and taking body oil to rub it on their skin.
Sounds like
I mean,
paradise.
I was looking at them as like, whoa, okay, we did. I saw that in the 90s the last time, on Mallorca when we said, yeah, the Australians, they have this thing going on, they make commercials when you want to get tanned, you have to be, you have to get a sunblocker on it, and they were white.
Yep.
Over here, the commercials, they were, tanned, you know, because this is what everybody wanted to
Right.
and then some people thought, maybe the Australians, it's like really maybe they are right. And then it shifted a little bit.
Well, we've gone from politics to science, but are you familiar with the hole in the ozone layer?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the audience that doesn't know it, in our atmosphere, there's a layer of ozone, which is 3 oxygen compounds that combine, so O3. And because of the production of a certain type of plastic, there's a hole in the ozone layer that has been created. And it means that more dangerous rays of the sun can actually come through into the atmosphere. And it's somewhere near Antarctica. But guess what? So is Australia. So the sun rays that are dangerous that are getting into the atmosphere get into Australia, and you get what's known as melanomas and other skin cancers. And so sun protection is the one of the biggest social things that people are familiar with here in Australia regarding that.
Yes. And two,
Yeah.
two little side stories from my vacation, because it's very important that
Uh-huh.
the people on Earth know this. There's one of my, how do you say other Germans? I'm a German, and my people, can I say that?
My
My
people,
German
yeah,
people, my people,
sure. Other Germans works
they,
too, yeah.
other Germans, okay, there were other families in this hotel, and, some are a little bit stronger. And I saw this German kid, like, I would say 12, pretty strong. And he was laying on a daybed and watching something on a tablet, and he was completely fucking as red as when you put fish, if you boil
Oh my
something,
God.
and then he got up, and he was so strong that he had white stripes.
Oh my God.
I was staring, and then I looked at my kids, and they were staring
Yeah.
because he looked like a fucking zebra. It's not white and black.
A sunburnt zebra.
Yeah, a sunburned German zebra. Oh, fuck.
My
This was
goodness.
one thing, and me and my kids, we say, okay. I told my kids, don't stare at him, and I caught myself staring, but anyways, really bad. Don't do this. And, living this way, because I think 5 sunburns in your life is like then the skin remembers something, and you get easily other sunburns. I think this is something I can't don't it's like I'm not 100%, so don't nail me on those percentages,
Well,
but it's
my father is a dermatologist, and so he
that's
probably has
right.
a lot of knowledge about this in Australia. I he, he does travel every now and then for conferences, so maybe he probably has some global knowledge. But if we want to do a podcast where we talk about sunburns and stuff like that and deviate entirely away from media and AI, maybe we can look into doing that.
Can AI get sunburn?
I don't think
What
so.
is Oh shit. And the other little story is, when you come to Fuerteventura, I was thinking, because Fuerteventura is kind of on the south of Morocco, I think,
Hmm.
located, and it belongs to Spain. And I've been to Iceland over 10 times in my life already. It looks basically the same. It's like moon.
Really?
There's nothing. There's literally nothing there. Some cactus is growing, and it's just dust and sand and all that. And
Wow.
we heard that Fuerteventura, because it used to be a volcano, it came out of a volcano, like Tenerife and all these, and they came up, and there was no sun, no sand. The sand came from Africa over the only
Millennia,
sand.
yeah.
Yeah, it comes from Africa with a windstorm. Well, that's quite impressive.
Wow.
I thought so. Yeah, and I know how to get the skin cancer and sun blocking. I get the circle now because you know if sunblock you need white, and Joe has a really nice white T-shirt on with the
Oh,
"I am
wow.
slaying."
So, okay, the story with this t-shirt
Start.
is as a few weeks ago on the podcast, I mentioned I started an AI experiment where I made a YouTube channel completely out of AI. And a lot of this podcast is us going to be talking about the end of that experiment and the results and that sort of stuff. Jan, have you watched the video? The whole
Not
thing?
fully.
Oh, for
No.
fuck's sakes. Why are we talking about it?
When? I don't have time. No, the kids didn't let me watch this, and I couldn't watch it. I tried to start watching it at the doctor's in the waiting room, but this was no. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I couldn't do my homework.
Okay, we'll try. Shit. Okay. Okay, back to the t-shirt. Anyway, watch the video. I've released like a 25-minute documentary where I talk about the whole experiment and the results and what occurred there. So for some of the information we'll talk about here, I suggest watching that video first. But in conjunction with all of that, I have created a t-shirt that says I am a slave to artificial intelligence. If you're watching the video, you can see me stand up awkwardly. They're manufactured here in Australia and they're really comfortable. They're unisex and they're only $20 US. I didn't want to price gouge anyone or anything like that. You know, this was a fun little experiment and let's not try and punish people for watching a video or anything like that. I don't think merch should
Is
be aggressive.
is the picture done by AI?
Yes, it was.
Ah, very good. So, because I watched the first couple of minutes, and first of all, I thought, okay, um, I think this is really interesting because you pouring your heart out there.
Yeah, it took a long time to make that video, and if I think of, well, strictly speaking, I came up with the idea like 6 weeks ago, and then I started doing the 30 days on the 14th of July, and then from that I then just went on to making the video, and I had a 10-page script, and it's kind of crazy and ridiculous. There's about 3 minutes of content that I cut. I even referenced you a few times, but I got rid of all of it because it destroyed the tempo of the video. You get a shout out thank you at the very end of the video, though.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much.
you're very welcome.
But so what was your intention to make a test, and did you think about the results at the beginning? So basically, you were sitting down in your really nice chair and thinking, okay, what can I do? What do I want to achieve? Or was it basically the open field and say, okay, I don't know what's going on, let's try?
Sort of, I guess it was an open field, the short answer, to figure out whether it was possible for a YouTube channel to be run and managed completely by AI tools and software that is available. And I should note that this content isn't original as well that I made, and it was taken from other podcasts and then re-uploaded, but it is a very, very automated, easy, simple system. And I just wanted to see whether it was possible. And I've got the latest results on my phone right here. The channel has 55,285 total views. And I stopped
What?
posting on it 10 days ago. And it's an increase of 9,000 from the last time I checked. So I haven't touched it, and it's got a 9,000 views.
Unbelievable.
It's
And
crazy.
it's really crazy. And so, because when I started the video, I was person 28 or something watching it, your video.
Yeah,
And
so
so,
this...
do you think? Hold on. So, one question I have is,
Mhm.
Did you tell the AI, listen, you look only if you use content, you this is your pool of content, or was it like you go whatever you do, or where comes the content from?
So the content was, I asked AI to decide it for me, and so I knew the catalyst to all of this was Opus Pro, a software that lets you get a long video, being a speech, a podcast, a TED talk, a seminar, and then you can put it in, and then edits it down and makes 9:16 ratio clips. So this is really good for YouTube Shorts, for Instagram, for TikTok, that type of thing. And that was the thing that made me realize I could make a YouTube channel completely out of this. And the podcasts were decided by AI. And I as I touched on in the video, ChatGPT's data set only goes until September of 2021, which means that it doesn't have any relevant information on modern trends, on charts, on popular podcasts, on anything like that. The number one
Okay, I didn't know
podcast is
that.
still Joe Rogan. Um, so any time when ChatGPT couldn't give me a direct answer, or an AI service wasn't, here's the answer, I would ask it to where I could find such information. And so that was where a lot of the work came in, where I was researching other podcasts and Social Blade and genres. And I found that comedy podcasts were popular for two things. Stand-up comedians build followings just like influencers, and then the podcast is a way that they can get regular money, because not all of them earn too much from doing live shows, or some of them do actually, but this is something that they like doing, podcasting. And secondly, there are these channels that exist that do exactly what I did, and people have done them full time, and they can get millions and millions of views. And in the description to the AI experiment documentary I made, I've listed 5 channels with videos over 10 million views on multiple videos. And one of them, I looked up how much one of them was making in terms of revenue, and addicted_shorts is estimated on Social Blade, which is where you can see revenue, to make at a minimum $198,000 a year.
Wow, with one video.
Not with one video. So they post regularly with AI,
Okay.
the same AI videos, and they do that year round. And that is roughly how much money that is estimated that they're making. And that's given that they're making money, because Social Blade also thinks Clipverse, my channel, was making money, even though it wasn't. So it's hard to tell whether that is legitimate or not. But yeah, so there it is. Not only are there other channels like what I did as part of the experiment, they're also raking in shit tons of views and potentially shit tons of money.
Okay, but then
Lifting up my chair.
Sorry?
I was just lifting up my chair, sorry. Didn't want you to
Oh, okay.
wonder what I was doing.
I thought you needed to fart, and you needed to lift it
Yeah.
up a little bit. So, okay, first of all, you're not the number one person who does this AR channel,
No,
right?
not at all.
And other people are doing this too, and you basically took your AI to get content from them too, right?
I didn't get it from the clip channels. I didn't re-upload any of their clips. I would choose clips that were created from the podcasts that I would find and put them in and then upload them. And so, yeah.
Okay, and okay, and so besides the money, let's talk about the money on a different stage.
Yep.
So basically, what your idea is now, or was, so to speak, to have a test and to see what kind of content AI is suggesting and putting out, right? Basically, like a TV channel, like a YouTube channel, who's like, I can go there as a I just want to know about AI and or just entertainment. Do I know this from the very first beginning? Is the channel telling me that's like, listen, guys, I'm here completely AI, and
Yes,
or do you hide it?
I wrote it in the channel description, and it was in the description of every single one of the YouTube shorts. Now, YouTube
Ah,
shorts descriptions aren't accessible like it is on a YouTube video. For us to view, for someone to view the description on this video, you can just scroll down and click description below the view count and whatnot and see it. For a short, you have to click on the three dots on the side and then hit view description, which is just, it's inconvenient. And so I
yeah.
did put a message there being like, this is copyrighted content, this is part of an AI experiment, etc., etc. And so that was a
Okay.
paragraph that I wrote up just to be a bit sneaky.
And how often did you create or did you put out new content like clips, podcasts, right?
Yep.
And how
So
often? Like every day or
yes,
twice a
it
day?
was at a minimum once per day, and at the beginning, it was for the first 3 days, two videos a day. But I found that two videos per day, I don't know what it was, but they would release at the same time. One video would get over 2,000 views, then other video would get zero. Next video would get over 2,000 views, then like just about zero. So one video in the double upload was getting views and the other wasn't. So it clearly wasn't favoring that type of uploading style.
And which one got the views? The first one or the second one?
I think the first one, and the first one would be whatever had like alphabetically titled higher. Does that make sense?
Ah,
Like if it
okay.
had an A at the
Yeah, yeah,
start
yeah.
versus a C, like the A would get uploaded first because they're just uploaded
Ah,
at the
okay.
same time, and that's how they would then get listed alphabetically.
Yeah, okay, okay. Because a couple of years ago, before this, I helped two artists in Facebook to create more revenue and more Aufmerksamkeit and more. So to put more power on this, you can always. What I saw basically, it was very important. I'm talking about like 5 or even 6. No, hold on, it's almost 10 years ago or 8 years ago. It was back then, it was very important to know when the people are online. So then to put up the clip out every day. And for these guys, because they were street artists, their viewers were always like from 5 till 7 p.m. That was the peak, the prime time. And when we uploaded clips from there at that time, it was always a massive hit for them. It was always much better. So we knew, okay, you don't need to put something out at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. No one will see this. But if you put the same clip out on a Wednesday 6 p.m., people will see it.
Yep.
So is this AI doing it, or is this what AI says? I upload A, and if I have like 3 films, all it's A.
So I
Doesn't.
asked AI what were the best times to upload videos, and it told me a generalized list based on averages from other websites. And so I copied that list over into my Excel spreadsheet, and I would time all of the uploads. Well, I'd schedule them for the next day to upload at that time. So,
Okay,
yes,
and
I.
but then, and because that's very interesting now for me, because does did AI know who is the target group, and you know what I mean, or wasn't that so important?
Oh, I'm okay. Are you saying like the most popular age demographic was 25 to 34, and you're wondering if it knew when was the best time to upload for that demographic? So
Yes.
I didn't consider the demographic actually in all of it. I actually had no idea what the audience demographic was going to be at all. I presumed younger people were going to watch it just because it was shorts, which is more viewed by younger people. I also kind of predicted that more men were going to watch it. That was also the case, but I didn't have an upload schedule that was in conjunction with a target audience, but I'm sure that type of information existed. I didn't actually have target audience in mind at all.
Okay, because then it's very interesting about your 9,000 people. I want to go back that because, um, I mean, put it this way. Back in the old days when we didn't had internet and we didn't, well, we had internet even back, but for example, in Italy, Italy is because I come from a world where we need to know how TV worked for commercials, because
Mhm.
if I know, in Italy, for example, they have the habit that the TV is running while they eat. So, and the Italians, when they eat, they don't want to get commercials about women's period problems, for example.
Yeah, yeah.
So you couldn't. Everybody knew that's like if they didn't even broadcast that. So do we? And back then, it's like TV. It's like shooting. Like I want to. They didn't know who was putting in. The target group was everybody. And nowadays the target group is like the left eye guy with two fingers in the hand and is 18 and we know everything about us.
Yeah, I think because that is a mindset of TV, because there's a select number of channels and you can watch news on station A, B, or C, or something like that. And you knew that at this time people had the news, and at this time MasterChef was going to be on, or I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and stuff like that. So you could know what the target audience is and then provide advertising appropriately. But because YouTube and social media now, like every single person in the household can be watching something different at any given time whenever they want. And so advertising can be really targeted towards them. And if you're subscribed to a channel, you'll get notified when they upload. So, and it's whenever you have time. So, like a boy after school will watch it after school, same with a young girl. But a uni student may have a 2-hour gap between lectures and watch some YouTube then. So, it's whatever the case may be. My dad could watch YouTube for 1 hour before going to bed. I don't know. Like that's the type of thing. That's all sort of made up and superficial. But when people watch, I do have that data. I'd have to get up the analytics and double check it. I don't think it matters though, because people were still watching it and it was coming around. For a
And
network
I
TV
think,
mindset though, I can see where you're coming from. But
yeah,
yeah.
because for me it's interesting that on a TV channel I can see the program what's coming at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and
Yep.
then I have to be there, or I record it and I watch it later. But now is it seems that we are able now basically with AI to the content is more important because if my target group is from 6 till 60 and everybody has different time journeys throughout the day to consume the content, it's very important about the content because the people like for example Navy CIS very all over Navy
Yep.
CIS.
NCIS. Yep.
NCIS, exactly. And so on a channel, you need to be there on a TV channel to watch it on Wednesday prime time,
Yep.
or you record it. But now it's like, okay, I watch it when I have time. So it is very important that the content is the right and very, very good content. And then I need basically someone who's saying, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, you know? Because everybody is screaming out there. And I'm still looking about this stupid English word. I have to check it up because this is the currency. Hold on.
Yeah, I think though, whilst you're looking that up, that's like the amazing thing about it. And in terms of the audience demographics, it's like 3.6% of the audience is 65 plus, which ended up being 1,660 people, which is really sweet and nice. And it's like, damn, I didn't realize too many people are like, if they're old, we'll call them that, but that age group, it's kind of endearing. I like it. But yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because this is then, for me always, and I'm really looking. I try to get my head around this. That my parents are 84, over 80, and my kids are too young. But if I had a kid who would be now 12 or 14, playing some historic game, they could play this with my parents, with their grandparents, because they have the knowledge about maybe the history the game is taking place.
Right.
So, and then you have the kid teaching how to play, and the grandma teaching about what was the story back then, basically. And then you combine. And what the word I was looking for the whole time was the currency for me in the internet world now is the attentive.
Attention?
Do you,
Retention?
attention, or
Yeah.
yes, attention.
Yeah.
Attentive. It's UK. It says aufmerksam. Ah, ja, Aufmerksamkeit. Attention. Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't I get this? I'm already high about my fucking those vitamins here. But the attention is the currency. So
Yeah.
if we put attention on our AI channel, more people will watch it, right?
Yes, totally, yes. And if you
And
employ, because with YouTube Shorts, you can actually get they automatically loop. So you can get an over 100% watch rate.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. I have to change, and this is what I think, because I grew up with or like with this one. It's always very quick to
Your kids
change.
again. I'm going to have to flag that. Shout out to an old episode.
Okay, I stopped doing this. But it's like it's very easy to say no, no, no. But maybe the whole story-wise, it's very important to maybe to start low and to get a climax later on. And if you don't watch it till the end, you never see the climax.
Yeah, but it's kind of the opposite with YouTube Shorts. You need to have something really exciting at the beginning that grabs their attention, and then it can kind of glide down or whatever. You just need to make sure that they're watching. And I remember looking up the stats for YouTube compared to Shorts, but Shorts you need to get people watching more and more because the different number of views compared to 30 to 40 seconds of watching versus 50 to 60 seconds goes up by 3 million or something like that. So you need to be watching the entire short, and you need to have longer shorts as well. So
Longer shorts.
Yes, exactly. It's so strange. Even though it's like 60 seconds is the maximum, you need people watching as long as possible, and then as many people as possible. So YouTube, the two metrics it cares about are for shorts, how long people are watching, and view percentage as well. So there's the number and the percentage, which is different things.
Okay.
So if I had a 30-second thing with a 130% watch rate, that's good in one metric, but not the other. I need to get high in both.
Okay, understood. And because YouTube Shorts is a format, right?
Yes.
And do we are connected to Instagram, Insta TV, for example, because they have basically the same. They don't call it short; they call it board.
They call it Reels now, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah.
But they're not connected. They're competing products, Reels and Shorts. But you
Yes,
kind
of
of need
course.
all of them to grow. Like
Exactly. So, but do you put, or did AI put just shorts, or was Reels too?
I only did Shorts
Okay.
just to see like YouTube channel automation, but it wouldn't have been too difficult to also do Reels and then do it
And
that
would you
way.
do then the same content on shorts and reels, or say yes, I have, because it would be really nice
I think so.
to say, because I'm battling with my wife. She's into this Instagram reels, And then I started with this Facebook too. Like since I left the mill, I've watched so many shit shorts because I'm on Facebook. I don't like Instagram because on Insta you can't read. It's like just watching all the time.
Oh, you
So but
like reading? Okay, that's interesting.
yeah, I like really reading, and sometimes on Facebook I get like articles, and some articles are free. Even I use the same German newspaper, and they have a chain block. I have to pay for it, but sometimes on Facebook they are free, so I can read it, and I like reading. That's why I have my glasses now, I guess. But the thing is that for me it was always because going on a platform I used to have both Insta and Facebook, and I assume many people do have this. So would it be interesting to see? Okay, I saw the same video on Insta and Facebook, or did I see a different clip on Insta and a different on Facebook?
I'm not entirely sure. I didn't actually, because I didn't upload on other platforms, I didn't kind of test that thing. But strictly speaking, the whole point of, because the algorithm used to design these products, they're not actually made for your followers. They're just made for the whole populace and the whole platform. So anyone can actually view your reels if they're searching for the right hashtag or if they're searching for this. So you can do content that links it to other. So for example, I had this idea a while ago when I was a videographer to do the actual video on Instagram, the video, the product itself, and then on TikTok have a behind the scenes of me making it and the editing and stuff like that. And I'd be like, then you can watch the full video on my Instagram and having cross promotion and stuff like that. It didn't really work. And I found that if I just uploaded the video itself to TikTok and Instagram, they both, were getting views and that sort of stuff. I actually have a funny story because I ended up being a videographer the other night and it was the craziest fucking night ever. But I'll tell you that later. But overall, having a difference depending on the platform, I'm not too sure is too relevant, because if I'm doing this podcast and making clips for it, we don't have many views. I want more people to watch it. I just want to get the best content. And if it's the best content for its ratio, the 9:16, not the platform, not the this, not the that. Just upload it, send it out, boom, boom, boom. Content everywhere all the time. That's the way to go.
Because I never did this, because then I lost track with my friends, with their friends, the street artists, and they had to do this by themselves now. But I always found it very interesting because, like you said, the shorts are maximum 60 seconds, and if I have a clip which is 3 minutes long, I have more parts of it, like part 1, 2, 3, 4, for example.
Yep.
And it would be very interesting from my perspective to start part 1 on shorts and part 2 on reels, and to see if I get the people to move over.
I'm okay. I've seen this on TikTok where people do part 1 TikTok, part 2 TikTok, and it pisses people off like you wouldn't believe. So just on the one platform, part 1 and 2 aggravates people. I don't like it myself. I feel very unfulfilled seeing that. So I'm just gonna say I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah. Okay.
Out of respect,
For me, I got. Of course, I understand. I used to work in creative agencies, advertisement agencies, and they always, say, okay, then what's the format, and can we play with the format the platform is giving us, and this is where it comes from, a lot of part 1 and 2, because they said we cannot put a whole story within 60 seconds sometimes. It's like, yes, you can, but then you're losing a lot. So this is why maybe it came up. But for me, when I discovered this whole part 1, 2, 3, is like you're watching, you go through your stream, and then you see part 5 for the first time.
as well. And it's a bit like, what? Yeah.
Exactly. So and then I go off. It's like say I don't watch it. Even maybe I lost it completely. Like, but okay. So basically you stayed on Facebook Shorts
YouTube
with the
Shorts, yeah.
content, YouTube Shorts on the experiment and podcasts,
Yes, and so
video or audio.
um, both visual and
Both.
audio. So podcasts generally release on Spotify and YouTube,
Yeah.
and podcast production has become a whole massive thing for YouTubers. So it's plus, especially with stand-up comedians, because their face is a big part of their brand. Having the video there was essential to the videos getting out there and working.
And my question is now, I'm thinking, if we should stop recording because the people will just steal our bright, great, really billionaires' ideas now.
We don't get too
But
many views, so I think we're okay. I don't know that
okay,
this is gonna just explode out of nowhere and be too random. I
okay,
post
okay.
this short now and suddenly we get 10,000 views.
But for example, can we is the test basically good for being a tool for existing channels?
Yes, that's a really big thing that I wanted to mention. So, a creator like me or us or anyone like that who does a podcast or, film speeches and whatnot and needs to make short form content, that adds to your workload so much, and just editing and remembering good moments and finding them. And I know creating subtitles, there's tools in Premiere Pro for that, and DaVinci, what I edit on in 18.5, just released a transcripting tool. There's that takes time and to do, and the fact that Opus, and there's other programs that do it, I've got a list of them that I need to check out and investigate, can do it all for you. You just post your YouTube link, get the clips, bada bing, bada boom. You choose them, you can customize them, you can put your branding onto it, and if the subtitles are wrong, you can adjust it. You can then download them, upload them, and even better. And what I did for this podcast was, if I get 5 clips, and then I do this all on Sunday, okay? 5 clips on Sunday, and I scheduled them for Monday, Tuesday, all the way to Friday. I've just spent like 2 hours on Sunday getting clips and all that sort of stuff, and then posted them, and now I've got content for 5 more days. That is so efficient and time-saving. And like I mentioned with Addicted Shorts, if you do this a lot, you can generate revenue quite a bit just from the shorts, in addition to the other content that you're making. So in terms of how it works and that software, it's brilliant. I would say, though, that it does have limitations to what it's able to do. For example, Opus wants to do motivational speeches, it wants to do educational content and things with lessons. And so a comedy podcast where it's just people talking about their specials or, random shit that's going on in the news, that type of stuff, it doesn't really have the approach of what the AI on Opus is targeting. And I also found that with some shorts by these podcasters, they're actually applying a lot of transitions and doing a bunch of extra editing on top of the podcast itself for the short form content to be able to make it more exciting and appealing, especially like I said, where at the beginning it has to be really eye-catching and, all that sort of stuff. So Opus doesn't do transitions or anything like that. It just takes the footage and then gets the sequence. And it also has quite a few limits on some of the branding and stuff like that. And this is all going to be very dependent on what your market is. So for our sakes, because we're a growing podcast, I think Opus would still work. We don't really need to over-exaggerate anything. And we often talk about stuff that's going on in media, and there's lessons and there's insights and that sort of stuff. So I would say it's a good tool for us. Perhaps in the future, that may change. We'll know. Who knows? But as well, that these AI programs are going to get better over time. But strictly speaking, it is amazing and really good and great at what it can do. And even though I was using its most basic form, it's still got within 40 days 55,000 views. So, like, imagine once you apply your branding. People put in a watermark saying their channel as just like a simple thing on the side. And that's huge for your brand. That just, gets into people's mindset a lot more. And that can be the difference between 100 and 1,000 subscribers, really. I only got 30 in this whole thing. But that wasn't the point. But in terms of, everything that I used in this experiment, it is important, if you're a creator listening to this, that you see whether it would be good for you and check your market. And like I mentioned, you can't check ChatGPT for your market because it doesn't have relevant information for that type of thing. You do have to, even with all of these AI tools that are currently around, you still have to do a little bit of labor, a bit of manpower and stuff like that. But in its current stage, I would say generally overall as a package, it's great. It's awesome. Use it in some degree.
And can we go to creators and say, listen, you are a good creator, take care about creating, and we take care about broadcasting?
Sure, you can do that, but if they realize that it doesn't take much effort to make shorts for their podcast and they're like, oh, hold on, I've got an hour in my day that I can do this, absolutely I'll do it. So us selling a service of we'll make shorts for you, unless we're editing them ourselves, then that's worth it. And, that's how you can earn money from that. But otherwise, charging people for what Opus can do, I wouldn't suggest doing, because I think as a style, it's very general and basic, and it's quite common as well. So therefore, no, don't charge people. Just do it yourself.
Okay, because I just thinking about like two ways. I know the Bundesliga has started now. I'm sorry for the fourth place. It's Europe.
Yeah,
Say.
it's all right. We had a lot of fun though. I watched the knockout game where we versed England. Was at a place in Melbourne. Well, I watched it at a place in Melbourne called Federation Square. It's a bit of a tourist attraction and right next to Flinders Street Station. And 140,000 people turned up. 50 flares were let off. And the stupid shit that people were doing was they were throwing them. You're not supposed to throw flares. If you're an actual fan of football, you just light it, you dance around it like a caveman, and then that's kind of it. You don't throw them, because that's when you burn someone, they get hurt, all that sort of stuff. Someone also lit off a firework. Just shoot up, not too far away from me. But
crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
No, because and I know a podcast here who are talking, three guys always talking about the Bundesliga, and it's not a visual podcast; it's just for your
audio,
ears,
yep.
but audio, and it's just something where I thought, if we could create something as a service, or like with a system behind it, it could help to get more attention out there, to get more listeners and all that,
Well, totally. I could totally see that if you have friends that do audio podcasts and they want to do shorts for it, they don't have a video component. I can make one and I can just get pictures and stuff like that and edit it for them and make it, fast paced and whatnot. I'd have to learn German probably, but you can totally offer that as a service. These big production teams that I'm mentioning, they've probably got someone in-house already that can edit shorts, and it may take, I don't know, 2 hours per video or something like that. Who knows? But yeah.
And the other thing is that I know, for example, big companies are working in the advertisement industry with influencers.
It is a $21.8 billion industry in 2022, influencer marketing.
Worldwide?
worldwide.
Crazy. Well,
Yeah.
well, and this is growing,
Yeah.
and these are people like you and me who do this, who never have like, I'm coming from the old days where if you as Joe come up to fucking Amazon, they would say, yeah, who are you? And nowadays it's like, okay, we need 10 Joes or 50 Joes who create content for us. And then if we have a service going to Amazon and say, listen, Amazon, we help you get more attention and more listeners, viewers, and everything. This would be something for them. I think it's very interesting. But this is not the way, like you said, right?
Yeah. I'm not. Maybe I'd have to think about that a little bit more. I don't have a very good answer for you, but I've got an idea for the next AI experiment, and it uses original content. And when it grows, YouTube revenue isn't actually that great, strictly speaking. The money that YouTubers get is actually from brand deals and associations. And so I have an idea for an AI. AI's got a big component in it, but it is a YouTube channel that can create posts, and it's in the realm of fitness. And then from there, once it gets a bunch of views, go on LinkedIn, find the social media manager for the protein powder brand, the company that sells treadmills and stuff like that, and then do some affiliate marketing and or sponsors for them. I'm
Yeah,
not going to reveal all of the information here just because I want to, look into actually
make a
doing it.
business.
It's a business and stuff like that. The other funny idea I had was, and you brought it up at the start, was I said, Jan and I are very into street art, and there's just about no street art in Melbourne. There's graffiti, and there's a few lanes that have graffiti in the city. But in terms of, I forget his name or their name. Sorry, it's the street artist who has a little toothpick and cork figurines that sit
Joy
on,
Fox.
yeah, Joy Fox that sit on street signs. I did think, why don't I create some type of street art thing and hang them on street signs, famous street signs, and try and get that going, and document the whole thing and try and fabricate a viral page. That's been a big thing I've always thought of in my entire life. I think you can fabricate viral stuff because it's actually easy and been done before, and I've wanted to do it. And I think an urban myth about a street artist would be a really funny one for me and stuff like
I
that.
we can stop talking about it. Let's do it, because with street art, I'm serious. With street art, if I get my old fucks, and some died already, sadly, and
Oh,
they jump on the train or to a train and stuff like that, shit stories. But there are definitely connections I have in all over Europe. So we're talking about London, Paris, Berlin. The rest is not so important.
well, Paris
There
has
is,
the alien invaders everywhere. London's got, well, Banksy was from London, so
of course,
yeah.
and but there's so
Manchester,
much,
sorry.
and no one is, and to be honest, it will not come from them. Everything with street art, like there are so many blogs out there are so many shops out there. This is, I'm so sure 99% run by people who have an MBA in business, and they like that, or like they like us, we like that, and we kind of grew up with this whole thing. And then they take this, and I think this is okay. It is like that, and let's do this definitely,
Yeah,
because this is something where it's, street art is an art form nowadays.
yeah, and street art's definitely. I'll have to write this down again because I think I had it somewhere deep on my phone after we talked about it at the start of the year in Berlin. But the other business idea that we talked about on the last episode was affiliate marketing and print on demand and that type of stuff. And I want to test out all of these passive income businesses that I think are hoax and bullshit and it boils my blood. And as part of that, as an experiment, this T-shirt is actually a print-on-demand product. It's not automated. It's not. You don't just set it up and then suddenly people buy and then the money goes this. It doesn't fucking work. And I can explain it more later on. But anyone who says that selling a T-shirt business that is automated, wrong. Lies. Do not trust them. And I hope Opus picks this up and turns it into clips and I can make a short and go viral because people love anger and rage. And this makes me fucking mad.
Just like one little thing, I do have access to a machine where you make your prints by your hand.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's like with the it's really old. This is where it started. It's we call it Siebdruck. It's like if you have a oh God, we need to talk more. I'm losing my English words. If you make spaghetti and you want to get the spaghetti out of the water,
Oh,
you
like
put
a
it into
colander, yeah.
a colander. And in Germany, we have this colander machine. It's basically this. I don't know if it's in the English word.
Like a
but
filter?
No, it's like you take a T-shirt,
Okay.
a plain T-shirt, and you need to create a collar. You know what you have. I am a slave, and this one you need to print it out,
A screen
and then you
printer.
make. Yes, but then there is like, and then you put by hand the colors on, and you wipe them,
Oh,
and
I
then
know
you
what you're
make,
talking about. I
and
do know
then
what
you
you're talking
heat it
about.
up,
Yep.
and then you heat it up, you know. And this is something where you create. This is what one of those artists did. Sadly, I don't have this. Yes,
Oh,
this
we'll
is for the
figure it out later. Yeah. Oh, so that's what they did?
you know. This
Yeah, I
is
see
this
what you're
is
saying. Yeah.
yeah, and and this is really really nice quality because you know it's not in the inside, and and stuff like what you have. It's basically sometimes they just glue it on and then it sticks like here, you know. So it's not so nice. This is inside the material.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is Siebdruck, you know. So and it's not on top or anything like that. And so this is like handwork, you know. And we did this. I don't have to fold it. And we did this a couple of years ago because one of my friends, he's crazy, and they have a garage, and we put it in there, and you know we consumed some stuff, and we built this, we made this, and we sold it, you know, on our in the galleries, you know. And this was basically to support the artist, you know. And but it's really nice. We can, you know, this is where it comes from, and we can expand this business. So this is what I want to say.
Yeah, yeah. There's we've got a few ideas, but I think the key thing that I want to do in the next experiment, I need to incorporate AI into it very much because the fact that it can make things so efficient is so good. And by the way, I think if you're 15 or 16 watching this and you have a little bit of spare time, how about you don't spend 1 hour on Fortnite, whatever the fuck you're playing, Call of Duty Warzone, and you actually start up one of these YouTube channels that I'm talking about because it brings in views. And within 1 month, that's 4 weeks, it got 45,000 views. Like that's... You could talk shit to everyone you know and be like, I did this and it didn't take much effort at all. You can ask ChatGPT for the name. Canva has the best templates ever. You can borrow your older brother's Midjourney account and get an image. There's so much stuff that it's the simplest and easiest thing to do, and anyone can do it. And anyone who's currently creating a podcast and needs to get clips for more exposure, you need to look into Opus and do it, and other similar video products, and determine for yourself whether they're useful. But this whole experiment has shown that these types of AI tools are going to be the way to go, at least, you know, to get started and get a good following. And even if you're just doing it for one element of your content, of your branding, of your scheduling. Just if it's applied somewhere, it can improve efficiency, and you just have to do it. And we're gonna keep testing it, and we're gonna push it to the limits. And when new stuff comes out, we're gonna keep going.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna tear some people apart where it needed. These passive income business gurus, they need to go. I'm sick of hearing about them. But we're just gonna keep trying. I'll tell Jan off air what the idea for the next experiment is. And unfortunately for the viewers, I think it's going to be a little bit longer than a month. I think this could be a 6-month type thing, at least.
Okay.
Or ongoing. Who knows? But yeah. I love doing shit like this. I feel so excited to be creative and I've got wind in my sails, Let's do it.
What's that?
Oh, it's an expression like fire in my belly. Do you know that expression?
It sounds always like really you have problems digesting.
No, so
I know only I know the English expression I got wind.
Okay, well, on a boat when there's wind in your sails when you're sailing, it means you're moving, you're going fast. So it basically means that, I'm feeling motivated, I feel excited. I just, want to keep creating and doing stuff and pushing the limits and whatnot. I do need a job.
Yeah, I mean, hell, why not? Me too. I need jobs tomorrow. I have a job interview, but I would say, going back to this passive income thing,
Yep.
is let's aim for a passive income. Maybe let's try to do this by creating something for us, and I would be really happy if I can stay by your side with all this, because for me it's very interesting, and this is we are sharing the same passion for it, because I think nowadays you can reveal that there's a lot of shit going on out there, like people saying, all you need to do is click a little bit and then you're a millionaire. I think personally this is not how it works.
Yeah. And I've never been a fan of content. Okay, there's misleading people in a film where you think it's going to go one way, then it has a twist in the narrative and it changes. That's fine because it's a narrative. I think in misleading people in content, especially when it relates to business and, the hustler mindset and stuff like that, and saying that you can make passive income and how very quickly you can set up something that makes you $500 a week. I just think that it's delusional. It is damaging. And when it doesn't work out for someone trying this, how that affects their confidence and their self-esteem. It's just, everyone wants independence and especially financial security. And it's really inappropriate to, it's mainly in the language that they use. And
absolutely,
if I can be someone who does the tough shit for you, that's great. I can do that and I can save you the effort and stuff like that. And I can tell you what works and what doesn't work. But I just, like I said, it just doesn't, it rubs me the wrong way entirely. And it's like, not nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even would go further to say that this is a very tough impact on our society and democracy, because this is what I experience here in Germany. We have this new party called AfD, Alternative for Germany.
Yep.
It's and they're very right wing, the right wingest people we have in Germany. And right now, with all these forecasts, if the election would be next Sunday, who would win all this? They get second place, because it's a protest party too.
Yeah.
People in all over the world, in the Western world, they need parties where they are just protesting, because they are sick of the establishment. And I think this is the worst case you can go, and these people are using this extremely, because they know that you need to just shout out something and people will believe you. Like, for example, Donald Trump. He did that and he became a fucking president of the United States of America.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And since then in Germany, the boundaries were broke. I'm consuming so much shorts, and then I see suddenly, like you said, in the first seconds it says this speaker of a very well-known TV show, political TV show, destroys the Green Party, you know, and he's all he does, he asks a question,
Yeah.
and then it's over. There's no answer to the question, and then you see he did this. And
Yeah.
what the fuck, he didn't do anything, it's fake, he didn't even get the answer. You don't get to see the answer, nowadays. And this is really an impact on society, especially like the younger ones who are brought up like that. My sister, she has a 19-year-old and two twin 16. The girls, they sit in front of their this is all they do, and this is waking up in the morning, going to school. Okay, they don't do that, but as soon bong, ching, 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 ching,
Yeah.
And they don't watch the news 8 p.m. prime time. They don't do this, and they don't watch the same news are broadcasted on Twitter and every they don't watch them, because some other dude who made it funny, who made it some like really, oh, the world is going down. This is what they watch.
It is always nice to find people who have a moral code and stick to their ethics and stuff like that on their content creation. But how easy it also is to manipulate people on all these platforms. It's crazy. And this isn't a bigger issue, but entirely that we could probably have a whole podcast about how to detect misleading information on social media and stuff like that. But watch out, guys.
Yeah, I mean, and talk. On Saturday, I've been to my parents, and I told my mom, "Listen, I'm in this entertainment industry for over 25 years now, and a couple of years ago, I was able to say this is a fake, this is real, this is not possible anymore for me."
Damn.
It went so well, technology wise, so quick. And sometimes when I see something, I have to, what? Is this real or not? And this is what you have to ask yourself, and not like, yeah, I saw it here and this is real. No, it's not. Just because someone is saying something nowadays doesn't mean it's right. That's like the world we live in.
Yeah. I'll go back and I'll tell you the funny videographer story. We're kind of going down a rabbit hole of sad stuff, and so I want to try and end the podcast on a more higher, more fun note. So it was after the soccer game or football game of the Australian girls versus France, and we beat France to get into the semi-final. And it was during penalty kickouts, and it was 3 hours of excitement and enthusiasm and high. And so I got dinner with my brother, who I watched the game with, and then I was going to catch up with another friend at a different bar who I hadn't seen in a while, since before going to Berlin and seeing you, actually. And so we caught up and we're talking, and he was telling me that he does some events photography and whatnot every now and then. He's not mainly doing his current thing, and he gets entry into clubs and whatnot. And I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And so we keep chatting, and then he gets a call from one of his mates. It's a photographer from a club, and he goes, ring, 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 ring. Hey, something's going on. My girlfriend's very sick. Can you cover for me for the rest of the night photography? And the guy I'm sitting next to goes, yeah, that's cool. I'm here with my videographer friend. Can he come too? And I'm like, what the fuck? It's midnight, and you're telling me that I'm now going to do videography at a nightclub? And he goes, all right, cool, Joe, we've got a job, so let's go. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I'm kind of nervous because I can't drink and do videography. Like, it's like I can't focus. I can't concentrate on what's going on. It just totally screws with my head. So we go back to my friend's place. He picks up his camera, and the original photographer leaves his camera at the club for me to use. And so we're in the car, and then the photographer calls up again and tells us more details. And he goes, yeah, when you get in, speak to this guy at the nightclub. And I'm like, hold on. You know Charles? Let's call him Charles. And I don't like Charles because he has mafia connections. And Charles owns this nightclub, and I'm now going to be working for him, drunk, not at my best stage, doing camera work. And so I'm like, oh, shit, okay. And Charles and some other guy, and we end up at this club. We go into the back room, the security room with all the different panels watching everything, and they've got their chairs, and I'm setting up the camera, and I barely know how to use a Fujifilm camera. And so I'm already...
Blank.
Yeah, blank. And I've had something to drink. I'm like, oh, God. And they say, one of the guys goes, all right, at 2:30 a.m., Philly is going to turn up. And Philly is someone called Young Philly. He is a really popular YouTuber and internet personality. If you search him up on YouTube, you'll see multiple things with tens of millions of views, 2.8 million on Instagram and stuff like that. He's an English guy. And I'm like, there's no way Philly's turning up. It was bullshit. And I eventually was speaking to another guy there, and he goes, yeah, Philly's turning up. And I'm like, fuck, okay. So come 2:15 a.m. They find me on the floor. I'm filming some people, and I took an hour break as well just to get my shit together and have a Coke Zero and chill out. And they bring me downstairs to the entry of the club, and I go, all right, Philly's going to get here. He's going to arrive in his car. Your main thing, what's your name again? I'm like, oh, I'm James. I don't want them to know my name. I'm James. And so, all right, James, he's going to pull up in his car, and you're going to film him getting out of the car with all of his mates and stuff like that. And then the other photographers, they're going to take photos and flashing. I'm like, cool, great. What type of car is he coming in? And he goes, a black tinted sedan. And I'm like, shit, I'm sorry. I don't know what car he's coming in. I need to know this so I know what car to film. Do you know how much trouble you can get in for filming the wrong car? We're also in a bit of a shit area. So, I don't want to get in any trouble. We're sort of waiting, looking for this black sedan. And then suddenly at the corner of my eye, I see 8 people in a line. And right in the middle of the 8 people trying to sneak through and not be noticed is Philly. And I see them right as they're turning into the club. So they didn't pull up in the car at all. Liar, asshole. And then I'm like, oh, God, I start filming, and I'm filming from behind the last security guard who's taller than me. I'm 6'3". So this 6'5" guy is kind of in the way and stuff like that. I'm trying to film, and I basically follow them all the way up to the VIP booth and stuff like that. And, his security guard wasn't loving all of the cameramen and people there and stuff like that. But I still snuck into the booth and, got some shots. And I have the footage on my computer. A lot of it is out of focus. And the security guard at one point goes, hey, I think your time's up. What's your name? And I'm like, oh, I'm Jimmy. Jimmy, yeah. And he goes, okay, see you around, Jimmy. I'm like, cool. And then we kind of all knew a few minutes after he got inside, let's just let him chill out, have some fun and hang out. And then I think soon after that, we left. But I basically imposted my way into a nightclub, took some video. Some of the video is okay, if I'm honest, and in focus, but totally failed the Philly assignment. And they don't really know that it was me. Unless they see this podcast, then they know it was me. But
definitely. Or you get in line and the next time, hey, James and Jimmy, whatever your name is.
I thought his name was John. What? He told me it was Jack. But this was a club that was run by someone who's got mafia ties. And I'm just like, I don't want to be associated with that. I also don't want to be a fucking nightclub videographer. They don't pay you very well, and they're aggressive, and they're like, we need the content. And it's... Yeah. Yeah.
But, this
what a
is
night.
The way sleeping up their career path,
Yeah, and it's a funny story that I can tell people. And when I posted it, I had a picture of me in Philly that I took, a selfie from far away. And they're like, oh my God, you met Philly? And I was like, yeah, I was actually in his VIP booth with him. And they're like, huh?
How?
How?
Yeah, I'm his personal photographer now.
And then I tell people that story, and then they're like, I can't believe it. It's very much a story of who you know versus what you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. God damn.
Time flies. It's already 11:15.
Yeah, 7:15 for me. So we're probably going to wrap it up here, but I'll tell you about the next idea and the next business there after this call, and then but yeah, otherwise that will do for the podcast now. Thanks everyone for listening. Sorry we skipped a week. Jan had to go on holiday, and then he was
I was sick.
As well. You know, focus on taking care of yourself. That's very important.
And if you need really good vitamin drugs, this is the shit. You know, it's really good.
Tight, like Breaking Bad. Like
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully.